Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the Quranly YouTube channel. Today I want to share some thoughts with you from Surah Ikhlas. This particular chapter of the Quran, the 112th chapter, is for a Muslim, should be for a Muslim, one of the most important surahs to reflect upon. The whole Quran is important. We have to reflect upon the whole Quran. But if there's something we need to be reminded of and that we should remind ourselves of continuously, that is the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how that impacts our own lives, right? Because a lot of people out there today are very confused, right? They have all these different philosophies and ideologies. They have all of these different views. You know, some are atheists, they don't believe in God at all. Some have their own new age type of spiritual outlook. And what this is resulting in is in a lot of confusion, a lot of heartache, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lack of identity, nihilism. It's really bad, right? And unfortunately, many Muslims are also falling into these same issues and problems. Now you may think, well, how can a Muslim fall into these problems? You know, how can a Muslim fall into nihilism? How can a Muslim have problem with identity? How can a Muslim not know what the meaning of life is? This is happening because we don't, number one, take the time out to learn about the fundamentals, the very simple basics of our deen. And number two, we don't take the time to remind ourselves of these things over and over again. Look, human beings, it's our nature, we forget. We're forgetful. Even with the most basic things, we forget those things. So it's important to continuously go back to the Quran and to read the Quran and continuously remind ourselves of these realities, especially those core concepts, brothers and sisters, such as Tawhid, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that is going to impact the whole of your life. It's going to impact the way you see the world, it's going to impact the way you behave in the world, and it's going to impact how you feel. You know, how you feel deep down inside, how you recognize yourself, how you identify yourself. So Surah Ikhlas is one of those surahs that in a very simple way reminds us of those fundamentals that we need to be reminded of. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? Qul huwallahu ahad. Say, proclaim that He is Allah who is ahad, who is uniquely one. And this is what I want us to really focus on today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us He is Allah. Who is Allah? What does the word Allah mean? In a very simple summary, when we say Allah, we are referring to the deity, the only deity, the only being, the only creator worthy of all worship and praise. Right? There is no other. And then Allah says He is Allah who is uniquely one. Ahad in the Arabic language it specifies a unique oneness. It's not a one you can take as in the number one or an object which is one and break it into parts, right? This copy of the Quran here, if one wanted to, they could take the front cover off, they can tear it off, they can tear the back cover off. You know, take this candle for example, right? This is one candle, okay? This is one candle. However, you can break down the glass into separate pieces, take out the wax, take out the wick from the candle. You know, you can break these things down. You know, this piece of foam right here, right? You can break down into parts. It's one piece, right? We're not talking about a wahid thing, that's one, but we're talking about ahad. Ahad is a unique, it's a unique oneness. It's a one you can't break into parts or pieces or split into different fractions. You can't do anything like that. Allah is uniquely one and alone. There is no other. There is no other deity or being or object that's out there that has any part in creating, you know, anything or sharing in that process of creation in any way, shape or form. So when we say Qul huwallahu ahad, this completely negates, for example, the idea of the Trinity, right? It completely, this whole, that there are three, you know, distinct beings but are one, all of this, no, Allah is uniquely one, that's it. You know, there is no other in any way, shape or form. Even when the atheists say there is no God, right? If you really follow through with their thinking, what they are doing in some ways is taking some of the attributes of Allah and giving it to the universe. So for example, when they say the universe, if they say the universe created itself or the universe came from nothing, they're essentially giving the universe some of the attributes of God. Therefore, they too are splitting the power in some way, shape, or form. But Allah reminds us that He is Allah who is uniquely one and alone, right? Allahu Samad, who is absolute, eternal, who is completely independent, not in need of anything or anyone in any way, shape, or form. Yet everything in existence, aside from Allah, that Allah has created, everything else is creation. It has a beginning, it has an end, and therefore it's completely dependent upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every atom, every single shred, every single thing that exists. Then we go on in Surah Ikhlas or Allah says, Lam yalid wa lam yulad, that there is, He doesn't give birth and He wasn't born. He is the eternal being, without beginning, without end. Wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad, that there is no kufu, there is nothing with any likeness to Allah, any similarity. Nothing comes close. You cannot imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because as soon as you try to do this, you are falling back on things you've experienced, and no matter how you take those bits and arrange them, that is not Allah. That image you have in your head is comprised of different things you've experienced in this created world. And Allah is unlike anything in this created world. There is no similitude. You can't compare Allah to anything or anyone. Now, having this clarity in regards to your Creator, knowing He is uniquely one, nothing like Him, all powerful, no beginning, no end, able to do all things, in control of all things, completely independent, and everything is dependent upon Him. You understand this, brothers and sisters. Now you think about how this is going to impact your life. How should this impact your life? How should it impact the way you live in this world? Who should you turn to? How simple does it make your life? You don't have to turn to 3 different gods or 4 different gods or 100 different gods, depending on what you need. You only turn to Allah, regardless of what you need. He is the one that provides. He is the one that can provide. He has total control and power. When something goes wrong in life, who should you turn to? Who has the power to change your situation? Who is allowing you to go through that situation, knowing that there is good in this for you? Who can give you the strength to deal with this, whatever you're going through, and get through to the other side? It's Allah. Who is going to, at the end of the day, ultimately enter us, inshallah, into Jannah? It's the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not your good deeds. Those may become the means through which, Allah showers His mercy upon us. But it's not you. Allah is in control. Allah is in control of everything. Now that should shape the way you function in this world. Nothing should be impossible. You should be able to achieve whatever you want. If anything good you want to achieve in life, anything that you aspire towards, which you know is good, have no doubt. You may doubt your own abilities, but don't doubt the fact that Allah is in control. And if He wills, you can achieve what you want to achieve. And therefore turn to Allah, knowing what you want to achieve is good, and ask Him alone. Why should you live as a good human being? Live the ethical life. Because Allah created you. And if you do good and you live in a good way, He will reward you for it. He will give you the strength to do good, even though you may not believe it in and of yourself that you could do it. Even if you fall into sins, brothers and sisters, and you feel lost, and you don't say you've gotten to the point where you don't even believe in yourself anymore, that you can escape the sins you're involved in. Say you're at that point, and many of us get to that point. We've all experienced that at some point in our lives, where we say we're not going to do something, we do it again and again and again and again, and we do it so many times that we just lose all confidence in ourselves, all hope in ourselves. If you're at that position, brothers and sisters, know that Allah is the one that could take you out of that position. He can give you the strength. He can make the way for you. So never lose heart, never lose hope. Know that Allah forgives all sins. He is the one that forgives. But for us to this is going to enrich your life, brothers and sisters. This is going to change the way you function in this world. But for us to experience this and live this, we need to internalize Tawhid. We have to internalize Allah's unique oneness and not associate any partners with Him in any way, shape or form. If that's one thing you can take, no matter how low you are in life right now, if you could take that one thing and focus in on that one thing, right? Internalize Surah Ikhlas and focus in on the oneness of Allah and connecting with your Creator alone, not associating anyone in worship with Him. That is going to pull you out of no matter what hole you're in, brothers and sisters. That is the starting point. So keep that in mind, guys. Let me know your thoughts in regards to Surah Ikhlas in the comment section below. If you haven't already, download the Quranly app. You can get it on free trial, experience it for yourselves, see how it's going to allow you to connect with the Quran regularly, see how it's going to motivate you, check out all of the features, inshallah. And I'm sure you're going to find it extremely beneficial. So definitely check that out, Quranly.app, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum.